Dear friends, happy Chanukah and Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat, we'll be reading the Torah portion of Miketz, which talks about how Joseph rose from being a prisoner, languishing 12 years in prison, and rising to become the viceroy, the prime minister of the most powerful country in the world at that time, Egypt, by telling Pharaoh and interpreting his dream and instructing him how to deal with the prophecy that there will be 7 years of hunger in Egypt following the 7 years of plentifulness of Egypt. And Joseph's brothers end up coming down to Egypt because there's a hunger all over, and the only place that has food is Egypt. And they come to buy food. Joseph is in charge. He recognizes his brothers, but they don't recognize him. He was 17 years old at the time when they sold him, and now was already 20 years later, over 20 years later. And Joseph starts making it a little difficult to the brothers. He's forcing them to reflect on what they had done by selling him, by accusing them of being spies and they're coming to look for something in Egypt. And then he tells them that if they don't bring the younger brother Binyamin, who didn't join them, next time they should not come back to buy food. Jacob, when he hears this, he is very worried. Joseph, his oldest son from Rachel, is gone. His only other son from Rachel, what happens if he goes down to Egypt and something happens to him? Then he'll have no children left from his wife Rachel, no future. It was too hard for him to fathom. So his son Reuven said, Dad, don't worry. I will make sure to look after Benjamin. And if, God forbid, he doesn't make it back, let two of my children die instead of him. And Jacob says, what? You think your children are not my children? If they die, then it's another two losses for me and my family. Finally, Judah says a few words that captures the heart of Jacob, and he lets him take Benjamin and act as the guarantor. And he says, Anoichi Arvenu, I will be his guarantor. Miyadi tivakshena. And if anything happens to him, I will pay for it for the rest of my life. I will not know a restful moment. I will feel like a sinner all of my life. Meaning that this task of bringing Benjamin back is related to the core. I feel it to the core of my being. I will never be the same. I will never be the Yehuda who I am if I don't bring him back. And Jacob said, yes, take him. And here we see something very powerful. Judah as the leader, the future leader of the Jewish people, the leader of his brothers, expressed how a leader feels about every one of his flock. Every single Jew is the entire world. If one Jew falls off of Judaism, if one Jew gets hurt, then even though I have many others, it's as if I am a failure, as if I am hurt to the core. And that is the way God looks at every single Jew. The story of Chanukah was the story of every individual Jew being lit up. Every single corner of the world being lit up with the light of Torah and mitzvot. There's no other mitzvah which you have to display externally to the outside world except Chanukah. Because it's not only for the Gentiles to see, but even the wayward Jews, the Jews who are lost, and in their homes they're not living a Jewish life, but let them see from the window the light of the Menorah, because hopefully that will awaken within them their soul, their candle, to be able to reclaim their Judaism. And this is how the Jewish people have built ourselves to become who we are today. It's not statistics, we're not numbers. It's about every individual Jew being so important to God. Every Jew is a world. Every Jew counts to us like a world. That's how we have to look when we see our fellow Jew. Say, if this Jew is missing something physically, materially, and also spiritually, we cannot be settled until that Jew has what they need. And with that type of approach to every Jew, And when you look around the world, what's happening, Chanukah, how many Jews are being touched on this holiday more than any other time. Let us stand together. Let us hook ourselves close together. Because this way, every one of us will rise to the greatest heights. And the light within every one of us will shine brightly, not only inside of us, but externally as well to all those outside. May God bless you to have all the blessings of light, warmth, leadership, caring, sharing, and just being a positive entity for all those around you. So Shabbat Shalom, happy Chanukah, have a Chodesh Tov, as tomorrow's Rosh Chodesh. Candlelighting time in Montreal, 3:53 p.m.